is Jeremiah Slaughter. I'm from Abilene, Texas. I think that my main strengths are that I come from a rehabilitative background in athletic training, and I'm pretty good at adapting with the certain situations that you might come across for your normal day-to-day activities. My main weaknesses obviously are that I don't have as much training in this realm as a lot of people, as I've just recently started an internship and I've only been going for 8 weeks now, so I'm still learning a lot when it comes to the profession, and I'm still willing to work harder and learn more on obviously all the aspects of strength and conditioning. Now, obviously I can improve on learning more about these areas like programming and how better to work with athletes in more of the strength and conditioning environment instead of the athletic training environment, which is not all that easy, because whenever you're in the athletic training environment, all you think about is how to get them back to sport and how to get them healthy again, not really how you deal with growing the strength and their competitiveness and competitive edge that they might need. And so there's a lot more in there that you can really play with and change than with the athletic training, where a lot of it is pretty much book smart and book styled, where you have to do X, Y, and Z before you can go back and do anything else. I'm very interested in this job because I'm moving up there. My wife is going to PT school up there, and so I'm just trying to, one, find a job, and two, because it sounds like I would be able to grow and flourish in the type of environment that you have available. I think that I would be a good part of your team because I would be able to adapt and learn under y'all and be able to have a good working relationship with new patients and new clients as they come in, and that I would be able to just learn the area better and just, work with more people in another way than what I'm used to. I feel like I'm ready to do that, and so I'm really interested in joining your team. My overall career goals, I don't really have a career goal for the next 5 years except for gain experience and hopefully be in some type of management role depending upon the area that I work at the time. But my overall goal, like I started out saying, is mainly just to own a business of my own in strength and conditioning, athletic training, physical therapy. That way we can have an outpatient physical therapy unit and do outreach athletic training while also bringing in the athletes to work with us in strength and conditioning. That way we have it all right there in one group. That way you don't have to go anywhere else to get any of that. You can just pay us to help you through it all. I honestly think that you should hire me because I'm me. I'm knowledgeable in the acute care rehab setting, and so I can bring that into my strength and conditioning field and really dial in those smaller muscle exercises that most people don't think about, and work with those larger muscle exercises and just incorporate more weight and fewer reps, or more reps and fewer weight overall, to better the athlete and just create that type of work that is not normal but gets the job done and creates that competitive edge that everyone's really trying to do. I don't think that most strength and conditioning people actually work hard enough on the smaller muscles. I think they focus too much on the larger muscles, which is why athletes get hurt. I don't think that they work enough on containing the small, intricate movements, and I'm really good at making sure that athletes are working on those small, intricate movements and keeping those in the right, I guess, form. I've once had to deal with an adverse situation of athletes just being difficult to deal with and hard to like program around, because they were constantly just not paying attention, constantly not listening, just doing your typical 19, 20-year-old thing of not wanting to pay attention to people that know what to do and how to help them. I mean, it happens. And so I would just constantly, basically how we got around that is anytime I had the opportunity to talk with them, I'd talk with them. We would go over what was going on. We would talk about how we needed to improve, what we needed to improve. We would work on our strength and conditioning aspects, and we would work on our rehabilitation aspects of what's going on. We would communicate on how we feel about the injury, obviously, and we would work together to create a better environment for them and a better work environment for me. That way, neither one of us felt like anything was happening that was wrong. That just really helped me learn a lot about how to deal with people that are difficult to deal with and how to work with younger athletes. I say younger, but I mean that's on average whenever you're talking to them in this setting at least. So it just helped me learn better and keep a hold of what I was going after, and keep a hold of them and keep them accountable, and make them realize that I'm not there just to tell them what to do, but I'm there to help them through what they're trying to do. That way they can get back to the sport that they love, obviously, because that is ultimately the goal of pretty much everyone after they've been hurt, is get back to the sport I love, not just, oh, well, I'm hurt, I don't want to do anything. Depending upon the reference that you ask, if you ask David Stuckey, then I would say that he would describe me as brash but knowledgeable, quick to react, but also very concerned with the well-being of my patient. I say that because he's known me for a good 5 years now, and so he knew me whenever I was my young gun self, just running around thinking I knew everything, to now where I realize more of I know less, but I still know what I know. And so he would probably describe me as I know what I know, but still a little bit quick on the gun on some things. Honestly, that's the easiest way to describe myself, is I'm good at what I do, but sometimes I overstep my thought process and get ahead of myself, and I'll admit that. But I normally figure it out. Might take me a day, but I figure it out. I think that my strengths can really contribute to this organization by just allowing me to work with all of the athletes that need that extra assistance in either form or their rehab time or anything where they're like just not performing to their max. I like working with those types of athletes because then we can get down to the nitty gritty of like what's going on, how did this happen, where did this happen, when this happened. All right, so you have weakness in these muscles, which is causing you to have a problem performing in these muscles because they all are interconnected and they all cause mass chain reactions that can hurt you in the long run. So let's work on this instead of just doing the little bit of this that you're able to do. Let's change it a little bit. Let's get you more in your form perfection range so that we can work you up in higher weight, not just give you higher weight and let you hurt yourself because you're not doing it correctly. I think that my ability to work with that and see that and critique that and do it in a manner that can be receptive and received by the athlete is definitely a way that my strength would be best suited for this environment. Again, thank you for this opportunity. Bye.